Hey guys, so today we're going to be looking at people who had a out moment on a date. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. She showed me two pictures of exes and asked where I would rank myself with them. What? What? Why would she do that? Why are you telling your date to rank themselves? That's so weird. Oh my gosh, dating nowadays is crazy. It was our fourth date. She brought up the exes conversation. How many relationships have you been in? Why didn't they work out, etc. Without skipping a beat, she told me she'd probably still be with her last partner, but he left her because she lied about taking birth control. Yeah, that's not something there's good quality about you. I don't get this. I mean, I'm glad these people are dumb though, so people can avoid them. But like, why are they putting themselves out there like a red flag? I'm so confused. He said he was a bartender. We went to his apartment. He said he'd make me a drink. Then he put my drink in a different style glass than his. I asked to add something to it. I took a single sip. Noticed he was watching me very intensely. I told him, try this, it's so good. He didn't swallow. I left. Oh my gosh, that's so scary. He tried to drug her. This is why you don't follow a stranger to their apartment on the first date. Excuse me? And drink something that they made for you? Girl. Are you okay? Seriously. I thought you'd still be affected by it, but maybe she got out of there fast. Or maybe it was just being weird about it. I don't know, man, but that's sus. Yes, he definitely put something in there if he didn't even swallow. Right? The fact that she was like, oh my god, it's so good. Yeah, you should take a sip. And he was like, oh my gosh. Actually so scary because she was in his apartment. They weren't even in public too, so she couldn't even call anyone for help if she needed help. First date, we met for coffee. He talked about his tractor for the entire hour. Literally nothing else, and didn't ask about me. Why do some people go on dates just to brag about themselves? Like, we get it. We get why you're single. She drove through a red light going 50 miles per hour and totaled 2 cars. Almost killed me. That's a valid reason to say hell no. Attempted to rekindle a relationship because we bumped into each other at a happy hour and had a fun conversation and thought perhaps things ended prematurely. She was game for grabbing dinner and even suggested a good Italian place that she had been wanting to try. Done. Reservation booked. Time set. The day of our date arrived. We were supposed to meet there separately, but mid-morning she texted asking if she could get picked up. Sure, no problem. She texted again, this time asking if we could change the reservation time to an hour later in the evening. Okay, I'll see what I can do. Done. Another text, this time asking about possibly going to a different restaurant because one of her girlfriends suggested a better spot. I actually reserved a table at said better spot at the later time and everything. Oh, but then I found out that she didn't want the later time at the better spot. She wanted to go back to the original time. Oh my. Oh yeah, I'm just surprised that he still did everything and he was just so nice about it. Oh my gosh. At that point, I would have been like, you're done. You're dead to me. You're done. I forget exactly what my text message said at this point, but it was something along the lines of, I'm sorry to do this, but I'm just not hungry anymore. That's crazy. Like, what is wrong with her? Was she doing that on purpose? Like, did she want him to cancel because she didn't want to cancel? I feel like that's what she was doing. I feel like, yeah. Sometimes people do this. They don't want to just reject someone outright, so they'll play all these kind of games. So the person would just feel bad about them and just be like, oh, no thanks. But like, you could have saved so much time if you just said, you know what, I don't think this is going to work. See ya. But no, she just literally went in a circle. What is she doing? Well, I guess now we know why the relationship didn't work. She's playing too many games. It was the first date. He brought his mum. Imagine how awkward would it be, right? I'm just imagining you guys as him and his mum. What is wrong with you two? Does he need you to hold his hands too when he's crossing the road? What is going on? Gave her my phone to put music in on the car and saw in the reflection of the passenger window she was going through my texts. Girl, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? That's literally your first date and you go through his messages. For what? Like, even if she finds something, he's still allowed to text other girls because you... Oh my gosh. I can't with people. She wrote, let's meet today in the park. It was 10 p.m. It was everything I needed to know to make my final decision. Oh, hell no. Yep. She's a murderer. I'm kidding. But seriously, why would you want to meet at 10 p.m. in the park? Unless she wants to rob him, right? And she's gonna call her boys to like jump him. We went to a movie, and as we got up, she threw the popcorn on the floor, flipped the bag, and gave it a good shake. I said that wasn't nice, and she said they have people to clean up. I wish I had said something else, but I sort of just went on autopilot until I dropped her off. Why would she do that? Like, why was she even wasting popcorn in the first place? That's my question. And then she's gonna be rude about it and be like, people will clean it up. They hire workers for a reason. How dare you? I hate people who just make a mess. Even when people are at restaurants and they make a mess, I hate people like that. Literally, where are your manners? When he asked me if I thought he smelled nice, I politely said yes, and he reached into his leather jacket and brought out a little sample atomizer of Ferrari cologne. He proudly presented it to me, saying I could keep it as a memento of our date and him. In the right way, it could be rather cute, but this guy was fully into himself all night, and that was the cherry on top. He was shocked when I didn't want to go home with him that night. Oh, okay, so he's been like up himself the whole time during the day. I just love myself so much because so many girls want me. I'm just the best. You want a part of me? Here, have my cologne. Ew. He asked me how many other guys I was talking to, and when I said no one else, he said, fine, lie to me if you want. I'm talking to 7 other girls. It's kind of a slow week for me because it's usually like 15 to 20. I laughed because I thought he was joking, and that pissed him off even more. He told me he could have anyone he wanted, and he left. Well, if you could have anyone you wanted, surely you wouldn't be single, right? Pathetic. He asked me how much the bill was for his portion on our first date. I scanned the bill and said, just put in 15 and it's fine, I'll get the rest. He grabbed the bill out of my hand and proceeded to explain to me the exact amount he owed for about 5 minutes like I didn't understand basic math. He's kind of slow, hey? She was literally like, yeah, just put 15, I'll pay for the rest. And he was like, no, that's not how you do the math. Okay then, just pay your share, pay more then. First date. We met online, so it was our very first time meeting. Met at the restaurant, parked close, so our initial meeting was in the parking lot. He says hi, asked how the drive was, and told me that if I don't agree to F him after dinner, he wasn't going to bother with the meal. I got right back in my car and left. Are you kidding me? What a waste of time. Ah. Surely, if you're gonna be that kind of person, just text it. You know what I mean? So she didn't have to drive all the way there to meet you. If you wanted that, just tell her so she can reject you. Oh my gosh, how annoying. There's a reason why he's not getting laid, for sure. He's literally going around to every woman saying this. Even if it's a joke, it's a bad one. When he told me, I reminded him of his sister and then wouldn't stop talking about her. Okay. Well, it sounds like he has the hots for his sister. I was on a first date with a young Mormon lady. We were in our mid-20s. She was telling me a little bit about her beliefs, about the 7 stages of heaven, and how most people can get to at least one first level of heaven. Then she started talking about sin, and how you can see deeper sins in the color of people's skin. The darker skin people have more inherent sin, so cannot go to heaven. But if they repent their sins, their skin will become pure and white, and then they can at least enter. Girl! She's acting as if like different races don't exist. Prior to the date, he told me he had a son. During the date, he casually mentioned he actually has 3 children, but 2 don't count because their mum is a bitch. How do you just say your children don't count though? Right? How do you just say that? Like, that says a lot about him as a person. Yeah, you know, they're not my kids because their mum's a bitch. Oh, but you had the kids with her. Huh. You know, you kind of need 2 to tangle. About 17 years ago, I dated a guy that I met off Match. We had a good connection via messaging, phone calls, and we went on 4 dates. After the 4th date, there was a sudden change. He would take days to answer back, so I figured he was just busy and I just left him alone. After a while, he finally contacted me to go out on a 5th date and said, let's go to Venice Beach, as I have never been there before. When I was in the car with him, he never said a single word. He drove us out to Venice Beach, never made eye contact with me, and we were just in this weird, awkward silence the whole time. I would ask him what's wrong, what's on his mind, and if he needs me to call for help. No answer. I knew something was bad. Of course, in my mind, I was running various scenarios in my head and what my next move was. We went back to his car and he was taking me back home. Before we got close to my place, he let out a deep sigh and says, I have something to tell you. Of course, my insides were screaming at this point. He says, I don't deserve you. You have a lot to offer someone to make them happy, and I'm not that person. He pauses, sighs again, and then says, you know why I was not responding early on? Because I was in mandatory anger management counseling and was having trouble coping with life. My eyes grew wide, and I asked what happened. He said his last girlfriend got on his nerve over something they argued about, and in turn it frustrated him so much that he nearly choked her to death. Because of what occurred, he was in court-ordered counseling for the next few years and had to check in with someone 3 times a week. He thought he was ready to date again because he thought he mentally moved on to becoming a better person. By the time he pulled up to my house, he finished everything he was saying. He asks, what do you think I should do? What advice do you have for me? I told him calmly, I admire your courage to tell me the truth. I think the best move from this point is to remove your dating profile, finish your healing, rebuild yourself, and maybe try again when you feel ready. I said bye to him and went back in the house, and I literally just sat in my bed because I could not believe what happened, and thanking my stars that nothing happened to me. Strange but true, he actually did write me a final email thanking me for everything, and he did take down his profile a day later. Wow. Well, I'm glad that he's getting the help he needs. It is tough to be like, well, good for him, right? Because he literally almost killed his girlfriend. But at the same time, it's like, well, I'm glad he knows that is wrong. Because I feel like some people, they just feel like what they did is justified. He asked me to go to the movie, then put up in Crocs and PJs. Said we were going to his house instead of the movie theater. Then proceeded to tell me he doesn't actually have his driver's license. What? So what the hell happened? Did he walk there with his PJs and Crocs just to tell her that, hey, we need to come back to my house? No, we ain't. You can go back to your house because you're already dressed for your house. I'm gonna stay in the movie theaters and enjoy my movie. See ya. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoy. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.